a 95-pound Doberman that 4 families returned to the shelter, a 9-month-old baby girl who wouldn't stop crying for 23 straight nights. Every expert said this was a recipe for disaster. Even the rescue coordinator called them twice to warn them. But what this rejected Doberman did at exactly 3:47 a.m. on a cold November morning didn't just save that little girl's life. It shattered every assumption the world had about aggressive dogs. This is Zara, and this is Lily, the baby she was destined to protect. They called her a lost cause. Zara, a sleek, black and tan Doberman with cropped ears, a muscular frame, and eyes that seemed to pierce right through you. She wasn't just intimidating. She was the kind of dog that made people cross to the other side of the street before she even moved. Zara had been returned to the shelter 4 times in 18 months, 4 different families, 4 different reasons. The first family brought her back after just 11 days, saying she was too intense around their teenage son. The second lasted 3 weeks before claiming she growled when someone approached her food bowl. The third family kept her for exactly 8 days, then returned her with a 1-word note on the form: dangerous. The fourth family didn't even last a week. After that, nobody wanted to try anymore. By the time Rachel and Tom contacted the shelter, Zara had been there for 847 days, over 2 years. The shelter director, a woman named Monica who'd worked with difficult dogs for 12 years, hesitated to even show them Zara's profile. "I need to be completely honest with you," Monica said during their phone call. "Zara's not a beginner dog. She's not even for experienced owners. And with a baby in the house," she paused, choosing her words carefully, "I just don't think this is safe." But Rachel had already seen Zara's photo online. Something about the way she sat in that concrete kennel, not snarling, not aggressive, just exhausted, made Rachel's chest tighten. "We'd like to meet her," Rachel said softly. Tom thought it was the worst idea they'd ever had. Rachel was still recovering from childbirth. Lily was only 9 months old, barely crawling, and Zara's file read like a warning label stamped in red ink. But when they walked into that shelter and saw her lying in the corner of her kennel, something shifted. Zara didn't bark. She didn't lunge at the gate. She just lifted her head slowly, looked directly at Rachel holding baby Lily in her arms, and her cropped ears moved forward. For the first time in months, according to Monica, Zara's tail moved. Just once. A single, small wag. "Has she been around babies before?" Rachel asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Monica shook her head. "Not that we know of. Why?" "Because she's staring at Lily like she already knows her." They brought Zara home the next day. The first 3 weeks were brutal. Zara didn't trust easily. She wouldn't eat if they left the room. She followed Rachel everywhere, but kept a strict 4-foot distance at all times, like she was guarding her, but didn't want to get too close. Tom started questioning if they'd made a terrible mistake. But then, one night, everything changed. Rachel was sitting on the living room floor with Lily, helping her practice crawling, when Lily suddenly started crying. Not her normal, fussy cry. This was different, sharp, distressed, like something hurt. Zara, who had been lying across the room, stood up immediately. She walked over slowly, ears forward, eyes locked on Lily. Then she did something she'd never done before. She sat down right next to Rachel, not 4 feet away, right next to her, and gently pressed her nose against Lily's tiny back. Lily stopped crying instantly. Rachel froze. Tom, who was in the kitchen, turned around and just stared. "Did she just—" Tom started. "Yeah," Rachel whispered. "She did." From that night on, Zara didn't leave Lily's side. She slept on the floor next to Lily's crib. She followed Rachel every time she carried Lily to another room. When Lily sat in her high chair, Zara sat beneath it. When Lily practiced crawling, Zara laid beside her like a protective wall. It was like a switch had flipped inside her. Some people say dogs don't understand babies, but Zara understood. She knew this tiny human needed her, and she was ready. When Lily turned 1 year old, Zara's routine had become legendary in their household. Every morning at 6:15 a.m., before anyone else woke up, Zara would sit beside Lily's crib, just waiting. The moment Lily stirred, Zara's tail would wag. When Lily cried, Zara would press her body against the crib and make a low, gentle hum that somehow calmed her down every single time. When visitors came too close, Zara would shift her position, not aggressively, just present, a silent statement, "I'm watching." The dog that 4 families called dangerous had become this tiny baby girl's silent guardian. But the moment that changed everything happened on a freezing November night. Lily was 14 months old, just starting to walk. It was 3:47 a.m. when Zara started barking, frantic, desperate, relentless barking that shook the entire house. Rachel shot up in bed. Tom sprinted down the hallway to Lily's room. Zara was standing on her hind legs, front paws on the crib rail, barking directly at Lily. "Zara, down!" Tom shouted. But Zara didn't stop, and that's when Tom saw it. Lily's body was stiff, her eyes rolled back, her tiny limbs twitching uncontrollably. A seizure. They called 911 immediately. The paramedics arrived in 6 minutes. They said Lily's temperature was 105.3 degrees Fahrenheit, a severe febrile seizure caused by a severe ear infection they hadn't detected. The ER doctor looked at Tom in the hospital waiting room. "How did you know to check on her at 3:47 in the morning?" she asked. "We didn't," Tom said, his voice breaking. "Our dog did." The doctor nodded slowly. "Your dog saved your daughter's life." When they brought Lily home from the hospital, Zara was waiting at the door. Tom knelt beside her and wrapped his arms around that 95-pound Doberman, tears streaming down his face. "They said you were the problem," he whispered, "but you were the answer." After 4 rejections, 847 days in a shelter, and being labeled dangerous, someone finally understood. Zara wasn't broken. She was just waiting for someone worth protecting. Today, Lily is 3 years old. Zara is 7. They nap together every afternoon, and every morning at 6:15 a.m., Zara still walks into Lily's room and waits, watching, protecting, loving. Because sometimes the ones the world calls aggressive are just the ones who care the most. And sometimes the family that takes a chance on the unadoptable dog ends up with a hero. Would you trust a rejected Doberman with your baby? Tell me in the comments.